So welcome to the 2023 Greater Colorado Pitch Series, Ask Me Anything, and thank you for joining us today. Just a few logistics before we get started. Please make sure you're on mute unless you're coming off to ask or answer a question. We'll be looking at the chat, so if you have a question, you can either use the raise a hand feature or throw your question in the chat and we'll moderate it and answer questions. We're first going to do an overview of Greater Colorado Pitch Series, and then we'll answer all questions at the end. My name is Kiki Hooten, and I'm the coordinator of the 2023 Greater Colorado Pitch Series, and we'll be leading this Ask Me Anything event today. Thanks for joining us. So the Greater Colorado Pitch Series is back for its 4th year. GCPS has grown into one of the largest pitch series in Colorado, facilitating over $8 million in investment to date. In 2023, the Greater Colorado Pitch Series is going back to its roots with one capital partner, the Greater Colorado Venture Fund, and the same quick and easy online application. GCPS 2023 will continue to build off of previous year's efforts to source and support the diverse makeup of rural Colorado founders. On this slide, you can see some of the stats from last year's event, which you can also find on our website. So who is GCPS for? Any founder located in rural Colorado, which is outside of the Fort Collins through Colorado Springs urban counties, is eligible to apply. We will dive a little deeper into criteria when we chat with the Greater Colorado Venture Fund. We've kept the same simple application this year with an anticipated completion time of 15 to 30 minutes. You'll be asked about some basic financials, your market share, and unique proposition, as well as for your pitch deck. Just a heads up, the application can't be saved, so be prepared to finish it in one go. If your application makes it to the second round of review, additional financial documents will be requested. If you applied last year or any other year, you are absolutely encouraged to apply again this year. We actually love to see your business and how it has grown and changed over the years. GCPS is committed to improving our efforts towards a more inclusive capital ecosystem. Based on best practices, we are helping reduce biases by first using a blind, meaning completed individually of each other, scorecard for initially screening applications. We also collect the same objective information from all applicants through a single application process. Finally, GCPS is referencing the Diversity VC Toolkit, aka best practices in VC investment, and bias reduction checklist to help guide the decision-making process. If you'd like to learn more about these tools, you can do so on our website. New this year, the due diligence process is getting an exciting twist. Once the finalists are selected, they will be presenting at an invite-only event in Salida, Colorado on August 3rd, House of Genius style. This means that finalists will have just 5 minutes to present a 5-slide deck outlining their business and an important problem or challenge they're facing. However, finalists will have no idea who is in the room before the event. Every attendee will then have a chance to offer input, questions, suggestions, and recommendations to the finalists. After the event is over, everyone in the room reveals who they are. Finalists can expect people from all different industry sectors, investors, business leaders, and a wealth of knowledge at the event. Finalists won't be judged by the problem they present or the feedback they receive. Instead, the hope is to explore how the company's founders present challenges, handle feedback, and accept new ideas. In return, they can expect to receive undivided attention from renowned business leaders and invaluable feedback. The Greater Colorado Pitch Series will culminate with a showing of the finalist pitches and an announcement of the winner at West Slope Startup Week, which will occur August 21st through 25th in Durango, Colorado. Finalists and winners will not be required to attend this event in person in order to receive the investment. More details about this portion of the event are coming soon. If you are unfamiliar, West Slope Startup Week is a week-long conference for entrepreneurs, small business owners, makers, techies, and more. Attend free educational workshops and networking events virtually and in person across the West Slope. You can find the full schedule and find out more about West Slope Startup Week at westslope-startupweek.com. So here's the timeline for GCPS. Applications opened on May 9th and they will close on June 9th at midnight. From there, applicants will be reviewed, applications will be reviewed, and the due diligence process will begin. Finalists will be selected by July 9th, and many applicants will receive notification that they did not advance much earlier. Of the finalists, winners will be notified at the finals event during West Slope Startup Week, August 21st through 25th. Here's the same timeline with a deeper dive into the process for finalists. Due diligence begins as soon as the applications close and will go until August 3rd. Once the finalists are selected, they will start crafting their pitch video. The pitch video will be using Loom, an online recording software. In addition, each finalist will receive one-on-one time with a speaker coach for their pitch video. Pitch videos will be shown at the final event at West Slope Startup Week. So now more about our capital partner, Greater Colorado Venture Fund. GCVF has an investment amount of $250,000 and the potential for more. Mark, will you tell us about GCVF and your investment criteria?
Sure thing. Thanks for leading the charge here, Kiki. So the investment criteria really align with the standard set of criteria for the GCVF, the Greater Colorado Venture Fund's standard investment. The pitch series is really just a way to have a much broader platform and hopefully be a much more inclusive process and more inviting process for the broader community. And it certainly served that over the last couple of years. So, very quickly, you got to be headquartered and operating with intent to grow out of rural Colorado, basically anywhere outside of the Front Range. You need at least 2 full-time employees based in rural Colorado. The commitment is to be here in rural Colorado for at least 5 years. We do have a side letter that goes along with every investment that does align with that. And then it also needs to be your first real institutional round of growth capital. So if you've raised an angel round or some money from friends and family, that's just fine. But if you're looking for your Series A, this is probably not the right format or right opportunity for you to be pitching at right now. On average, we've seen companies raising anywhere between $500,000 and $1 million, though. At this stage, we do call that the seed stage, and our $250,000 tends to be among several other investors, so not the only capital in this round. That said, we will consider that as well. And when thinking about how am I a growth venture, is this a fit for equity investments? We tend to think about it as, are you serving markets beyond your immediate geography? Kind of the difference between a small business and a medium to high growth style business, and that's a good lens to think through it as. Turn it back to you, Kiki, and happy to answer more questions at the end.
Thanks, Mark. So we tried to cover the majority of the questions you might have, but you can find our full FAQ doc on our website. And in case you need it, I'll throw it in the chat as well. Otherwise, we'll stop talking at you, and now we'll open the floor for any questions.
Great. We got Amy, Nora, and Fred. Fred's a known suspect here. So feel free to fire away, Fred. Good to see you here. And then, if anybody else has questions, by the way, you saw that we're recording this. We've learned that over the last few years, the most valuable use of this recording has been for people to follow up and watch it later. We've had a high number of folks doing that. So if you have any questions that might be useful for you or anybody watching this in the future, please throw them now. Do you have a question, Amy?
Yes. Can you hear me okay, Mark?
Yeah.
Sure can.
So I've never taken any investment for my company. I own Deerhammer Distillery in Buena Vista. So we're looking to grow a wholesale division. We kind of have a plan in place, but we do need some capital to kind of unlock that. So I'm curious, I didn't quite understand when you described who is excluded for funding and then what the 250,000 means. Maybe go off a little bit about that. Thanks, Mark.
Sure. Deerhammer, know of you guys, so great to have you here.
Myself.
aficionados here of the Colorado distilleries, and especially going through BV. So we, as an example, in the Greater Colorado's first fund, we did invest in Marble Distilling. So as a category, it is something we can absolutely consider. And in terms of the actual business and the requirements there, I think everything about you guys being based in Buena Vista, from what I know, would be a good fit. In terms of use of capital to help grow a wholesale business, to, push on the distribution and growth of the market, I think that would be a great use of, call it, equity capital as well. And then one of the questions is always terms. What are the terms of the equity investment? We avoid doing any kind of like blanket terms, especially over the years. We've had some companies that have been around for 7-8 years come in through the process, and then some companies that started months ago. And so we work through that like we would any other investment with you, kind of on that timeline that Kiki presented. So hopefully I answered that, Amy, but let me know if you have anything else specific.
Sure. And then say like if a company were to be awarded a grant or funding, what does terms mean? Like, is it like a certain amount of reporting, like every few months for several years, or is there measurables needed to be provided to the venture fund?
Yeah, you bet. We operate just like any other kind of institutional investor. We require a quarterly report from all companies. And that quarterly report has some subjective information that's kind of, we want to know what are the things keeping you up at night? What are the things going really well that we might be able to help, put a megaphone on? And then also just objectively, where are the numbers? What's the cash position? What do the financials look like? What are some of those key metrics that you're tracking as well?
And
So,
Amy, in that FAQ doc that I threw into the chat, you will find the link to this chart with more specific deep dive on funding. So that might be a helpful resource for you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Any other questions? Hi, Joseph.
Morning.
yeah, did you have a question for us, Joseph?
I do. It's a bit strange, but hopefully you can help me answer this question. It's pretty simple. Basically, I need someone to, to help get a second opinion on a design that I have. I don't have a company or a team yet or anything. It's just preliminary second opinion on my design. An educated, neutral party second opinion on my design for a clean energy generator that is using gravity as a source fuel for clean energy.
Oh, wow. Yeah, sounds interesting, Joseph. And it sounds like you might be a little early in the process for something like this event, but I'm going to paste in the chat window here a great resource, startupcolorado.org. And they have, if you go on, they have kind of an online directory, and you can go through and kind of filter by type or by skill set or background. And if you're looking for somebody on design on the mechanical side, I think you can filter by that, like the engineering, or if it's on the IP, the legal side, I think you can filter by that as well.
Oh, okay.
So I'd start there. And if you can't find anything else, our email is all over the place here, but you can email any one of us and we'll try to at least point you in the right direction.
Okay. Yeah, that would help tremendously. Just basic, just very beginning. I wish I was further along, but without a second opinion, nobody's going to believe me.
I get it.
So I wish it were different, but I can't. I have to start from square one.
Yeah.
Everyone starts somewhere.
Yeah. One of the questions we do get is this the only investment that we make every year? And the answer is absolutely not. We're always investing, throughout the year. So this is just, again, an opportunity for us to have a bigger megaphone and a bigger stage to kind of champion some of the work of the founders that we're able to work with. So, you know, and get to know us and our process and our criteria and requirements as well.
Okay.
And we have partners like Fred, who's on the line with Greenline. And Greenline's able to, you know, there's a number of us capital players in the ecosystem. And oftentimes we'll bump into founders where maybe our capital is not the right fit based on our strategy. But there might be other players out there that we can help make introductions to.
Very good. That would help a lot. Appreciate it.
Sure thing.
Joseph, I also threw in the SBDC website, the Colorado Small Business Development Center. They might help you as well on other aspects of getting your business and concept started.
Okay. Very good. I appreciate
Any
it.
other questions from Fred? Did you have anything for us, or potentially Nora?
Going once, going twice.
Hi, sorry. I think I am a little bit early for you guys. I am based in Summit County and I'm pre-revenue. I'm getting ready to launch in about a month. So I would love to just get more involved with you guys and see if this is a better fit for me next year.
Awesome.
Yeah, sounds good. One thing, Nora, maybe to check out, and Joseph, potentially for you too, it sounds like just West Slope Startup Week. The reason that we have this event hosted during West Slope Startup Week is because of the number of other educational events and educate. You know, it really is everything from networking to education to hands-on tactical support that you can get. And then, you know, we're just kind of hosting a little investment event as part of the bigger thing. You know, over the years, there's been several hundred people attending every year, even through COVID. So if you need an excuse to get down to Durango, you know, these type of events don't happen often outside of the Front Range. So if you can't make it to a Boulder Startup Week or a Denver Startup Week, right, that this really is the opportunity for everybody outside of the Front Range. And obviously we have a fun and really wonderful difference in set of nuances and culture from some of the Front Range events as well. Amy, it sounds like you had another question.
Sure. In terms of the pitch, the goal is to present a challenge and then people weigh in on it. Is it available anywhere so I could read past people who want? Is it almost like I want to hire out-of-state sales folks, but we don't have the money? I mean, is like the challenge around money in a way, or is it?
That's a great question. So, and maybe we could help clarify this a bit more. So there is the House of Genius event, which is where you're presenting a problem in your business, right? And the idea of these events is to really get a diverse group that you're normally not speaking to about a problem that your business is facing and get serious feedback. And so that is what that Salida event is. Separate of that is your actual pitch for the Greater Colorado Pitch Series. That's what you'll work with the speaker coach on, and you can absolutely watch past years events. Let me pull that up. But those are just short pitches about your business, how much capital you're trying to raise, and what you would be using those funds for. Let me just pull that up.
Yeah, I think that's a great one. You can, even if you just watch one or two of the pitches, Amy, you'll get a good idea of who the companies are, the breadth and the scope of them as well.
Great, thank you.
And, you know, from doing this for several years, some of the feedback that we've gotten is like putting together this pitch video, having that for other investors or opportunities for your business, as well as just working with a speaker coach and understanding how to present your business is one of the most valuable pieces of this experience. So we get a lot of really, really good feedback about that process. Any final questions for us today?
Alrighty,
Not, thank you so much for being here. Here are those key dates again. So applications close on June 9th. Then the due diligence process begins by July 9th, when we'll have those finalists selected. The House of Genius event on August 3rd, and then the winners announced during West Slopes Startup Week, August 21st through 25th. We'll be sharing this recording online, and you can reach out to us either at partners@greatercolorado.vc or kiki@greatercolorado.vc with any questions, and we're happy to help along the way. Thank you so much for being here, and we look forward to seeing your application.
Thank you.
thanks, everybody.
Thank you.